So give me a sound check. Let me know if you can hear. Yes. Okay, sound check. That's funny, Ed. Yes. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, this will be a good time. There's no rush because we'll probably be here a while. Grant Tilley. Hey, yep. Williams. Hello. Grant, hello. Ed, that was funny, stumbling around. There was some stuff moving around, but yeah. Andy, good evening, sir. Yeah, isn't it awesome? It's awesome. Definitely is. Sound is good. That's awesome. It's Brian time again. That's right. Tactical rabbi's yelling. Isn't that what? I don't know if that's a question. Maybe he's just trying to be loud about it. That's right. For your viewing pleasure. Hello, Adam Hall. Hello, Garrett. Hello, Garrett. Evan asks, "How am I doing?" I'm great. Doing great. That's right. Like Joey says, like Joey Sankhouse says, hit the thumbs up button. Heingardner 81. Some of these names are so interesting. How are you doing, sir? I'm doing great, sir. NFA was ruled unconstitutional today by a federal judge. We're making progress. Uh, mm. Okay. I appreciate that you get excited about that a little bit, but a federal judge just making a decision to uphold the Constitution. Wexworks Scott, hello there. Did you change the name of your channel? Did it used to be something else and you changed it? You don't need to put what the old channel name was. Just say yes or no. Scott W. Did it used to be that? Hello, Kevin. So I'll say this on here. So we have a number of people starting to show up. So I have a YouTube channel as well. If something ever happens to this YouTube channel, you can go over there. I was also considering doing more lives on that one. So that one is 3R Operations. So YouTube, 3R Operations. So I was considering doing more lives over there as well. If something ever happens to this channel, I have that channel. That's right, Garrett. Hit the like button. Hit the like button and share the video. Copy the link. We're not going to say anything important for a minute, so you can close the video, copy the link, send it to some friends, associates, family, people that you want me to answer a question for that may irritate them. Send it to those people and/or Tactical Response alumni. And say, Brian is on the live stream yet again. A little bit better lighting. I changed the lighting a little bit. It wasn't shiny enough off my head. How was training over the last week? Any highlights, lowlights, or reflections? Didn't run across many mirrors. Surefire used to make a flashlight. They still do, I believe. And it's called the IntelliBeam. And so you would turn the light on and it would dim if you looked at a mirror or glass or something else that would reflect the light back. It would dim so you didn't self-blind yourself. And the issue with that, though, is if somebody turns on a bright light and shines it at you, your light dims. So that is not for tactical use. If you want to have one of those for utility purposes, that's fine. But the Surefire IntelliBeam for fighting with, I'd recommend no. Or hang on, let's see here. Will asks, my home defense rifle is one of those old Bushmasters. When you say old, how old? Is it from Windham, Maine? Is it a Windham, Maine Bushmaster? Without a staked castle nut. James Yeager said those are good guns, but do I need to get that fixed? Is it a factory built gun? Meaning, did the factory build that lower, put that back plate on, put that buffer tube and castle nut on? If they did, look again for the staking. And I know you probably already looked. They may only do it once, and it may be in an area that isn't visually recognizable. But if they didn't, and the gun is running just fine, it can't hurt to stake that thing. So I don't want to say fix it, because if it's already running, but you could. Somebody asked, do I miss patrolling yet? So patrolling. So for all the people watching, I am a retired state trooper out of New York. Interesting, though, as far as the patrolling. So I was on the road right up until about the beginning of 2024, the last 2 years. So the last little over 2 years, I was actually assigned to the New York State Police Academy as a full-time firearms instructor. When I retired, I had achieved senior firearms instructor. So what does senior firearms instructor mean? Senior firearms instructor means, in a nutshell, that you can perform all of the duties, including supervision, on a range. If any of my coworkers are watching, they're going to say, wow, you butchered that. And I'm going to say, well, put it in the comments if you wish me to clarify it, or send me a text or something. I don't even know where my phone is. Oh, it's under these things here. So yeah, so the question, do I miss patrolling? I hadn't been on the road in 2 years because I was assigned to the academy as a full-time firearms instructor. So did I miss patrolling? It was all awesome. It was all awesome. Hope that answers your question. That's right, Garrett. Garrett adding the fact about that Surefire IntelliBeam, it would also change, meaning it would dim if you pointed that light at fog or smoke. Staking, Cam, be done at home. I know what you mean. Yes, it's a factory Wyndham. Yeah, if it's a Bushmaster from up there in Wyndham, Maine, they were good to go. And so if the castle nut isn't staked, it can't hurt to stake it. Not old. Question comes up, do you recommend putting a red dot on a shotgun to be more accurate with a slug? Okay, the more things we attach to these guns, the more failure points there are. So if you want to put a dot on your shotgun, go for it to be more accurate. And so just how far are you shooting that thing is my question. So if you have a bead sight, excess big dots are still, for a shotgun, big old golf ball size sight on the front of that shotgun is just fine. And so if you're talking about shooting at a certain distance or something and you want to put a red dot on your shotgun, go for it. You go for it. But I would ask, just how far are you shooting it? So somebody asked if I was in Albany. They're referring to New York. Yes, the New York State Police Academy is in Albany. That's New York. So yes, I was at the academy in Albany. Somebody asked me if I retired to Camden or staying up north. Didn't get to talk to me at alumni. I'm on the move. I am on the move. Keep up. You probably won't be able to. But yeah, to answer your question, I'm not going to be in one place for very long. I'm going to be on the move. So whether I'm down south, whether I'm up north, whether I'm someplace else, I don't plan on being, I'll say, relaxing at any one place for very long. There's things to be done. Kyle, you're going to have to reach out to info@tacticalresponse.com. Just whatever the protocol was before, I'm teaching the classes. Generally, I'm teaching the live fire classes. And so Kayla will be teaching the medical classes. But to answer your question, reach out in an email and get that answered. Ground Fog just waves. He just put a little hand in there. Yeah, that brass bead on your 870 Police Wilson Combat Scatterguns Technology 870. Wow, that's a lot of words. I know you had to tell everybody you had a Wilson Combat Scatterguns Technology 870. You couldn't just say an 870. You had to add all that, the preamble before it. It's cool though. It's fine. It's akin to HK guns. They have all sorts of numbers and delineations for what that gun is when it's really just a 45 with a hammer. Liberty Seeker asks thoughts on the Idaho CCW that confronted the guy with the rifle. And he also has a YouTube channel. Okay. So my thoughts are this. The moment you start shooting, by applying all of the safety rules, the moment you start shooting and you're missing, I'll pose a question. Are you now an active shooter? So if you are shooting and you are missing, are you now an active shooter? You're accountable for everything that leaves that gun. Whether you are attempting to stop somebody, whether you are attempting to save a life, whether you're a police officer, whether you're a CCW, whether you are whoever, and you are attempting to save an innocent person or people, and you are missing, are you now an active shooter? And somebody says, wow, that's a real ugly way to say it. Okay, it's an ugly consequence when you start missing. So they don't like the way I say that. They don't appreciate the question. And if you are missing out in the world, and those projectiles that you have just launched out into the air are missing what you are trying to hit or trying to stop, if they miss into a brick wall and the person you are shooting at offs themselves, oh, okay. Did you know those rounds were going to impact some sort of barrier that was not going to allow them to continue any further? So that's a question you have to ask for yourself. You have to answer for yourself. Yeah, Kyle, reach out. Just reach out and wait for an answer. There's this other question here. Are there any Force on Force classes on the books this year? Nothing at the moment. You probably wouldn't take it anyways. Even if it was, you probably wouldn't even take it. Get some people together and send an email and we'll make it happen. It's so rude. I'm being nice. You're welcome, Kyle. Right. Yeah. Everybody, so many of these folks out in the world, good guys, they're good people. They have good intentions, right? So they want to make a difference and save a person. But the moment you start missing, are you making it better or are you making it worse? If you don't hit anybody, including innocent people, and the threat offs themselves and the threat no longer exists, did you make it better? Okay, maybe. But if you miss and you start tagging innocent people, did you make it better? I would argue you made it worse. Now we got two shooters. No, those have been gone for years. Those have been gone for years. And if for some reason you ever attempt to deploy that smoke and it doesn't go, you can literally stick a fuse in there and light it and do it. I understand that if you attempt to do it in some sort of a game time situation, it doesn't work. You're not going to have time to stick a fuse in there or light it with a road flare. But if you're doing it just to generate some smoke and it's not game time, don't throw that thing away. Put a fuse in there and or use a flare. But I'd guess by now, this many years later, those things are long expired. Jeb says, can't stay long. Gotta go do ham radio nerd stuff. Had to add the nerd part. I was going to say something to one of these questions. And in my brain, it was good. And I was waiting to answer the other question. I'll think of something good to say in a moment. That's okay. Yeah. So if here's a saying that has been said around tactical response for quite some time, many years, as a matter of fact. Good shooters know what shots they can make. Excellent shooters know which shots they can't. And so if you get to a point where you know you're going to miss, if you believe you're at that level, and you believe you may miss that person, and the consequences are missing and the round keeps going someplace else, maybe get closer. Yeah, Wex. Me too. Yeah, force on force is. So we have closed skills and open skills. Closed skills would be if we were shooting a basketball from a free throw line on a court with no opposition. A basketball game would be open skills. So closed skills, shooting a basketball at a hoop. Open skills, basketball game, opposition, people trying to stop you from getting the ball into a hoop. So closed skills, standing on a firing line, shooting a target at a known distance under a known time frame with whatever number of rounds. Closed skill. Open skills are when you start getting into things such as using cover, malfunction clearing, one-handed shooting, whether it's your primary hand and or the other hand, taking an eye out of play, something like this, using vehicles, med work, and ultimately force on force. So force on force is the open skill based training that is useful, depending on who you're learning it from, for game time, for when it's for all the marbles. And so if it could turn into scenario based force on force training has to stick to the script. And so it's when role players go off script and it just turns into an expensive paintball match or paint projectile marking match or paintball match. It becomes less useful. Yeah, Grant, a whole bunch of those smokes didn't work, but it wasn't the stuff that was in them. It was the actual igniter that didn't work for some reason. Who knows why? And so I tread lightly with being too critical of the person that came up with those or the company that came up with those, because they attempted to create a product, and they were so close to having such an awesome product, the metal ones and the plastic ones. And I don't know whatever happened. I don't have the update on whatever happened to that group of folks. But though the material on the inside was still good. And so if you stuck a fuse in there or lit it with a road flare, that thing would smoke just as it would as if you had the pin and the spoon and it ignited on its own the way it was supposed to. So if you still have them, it will still probably ignite. All right, Evan. Evan says, I will always say, I'll say tread lightly with saying always or never. Always or never. Is it always? And is it always always? Or is it never never? So tread lightly with always and never, or don't. You don't have to take my advice. But you said it's better to be a good witness than a participant. You can be a witness and relive the images and I'll say think about the images of all those folks that you could have saved. You can be a good witness to all those terrible memories that you're gonna hang on to, or you can go do something. And so being a good witness versus a participant, doing something is probably better than just doing nothing. If you think somebody should do something, you should go do that. You should go do it, something. And so go participate in saving some folks. And you may not like that answer. You may not. You may have to participate in getting your family out of there. You may have to participate in saving other innocent people for whatever reason. But sitting by, you know who says that a lot? You know who says it's better to be a good witness than a participant? Off-duty cops say that all the time. It's do you carry a gun? No, I'm just going to be a good witness. Oh, so you're going to, and Evan, I'm not beating up on you. If it was Evan that said this, Evan, I am not, but I appreciate that you said this because this is giving you a different perspective on this. But all the time, police officers, I'm talking all the time, when you're like, hey, do you have a gun on? Especially me, and I'd always ask people, do you have your gun? Do you have a gun? Do you have backup gun? Do you have med gear with you? And I'm just going to be a good witness. You're going to be a good witness to a bunch of innocent people dying when you are the police and you could carry, specifically in some of these states that have sensitive zones. You know what? I'm going to talk about this right now. Here we go. So, police officers, if you are a police officer, and I don't want to hear that I'm talking about cops and this cop hater or whatever. I was a police officer 27 years, 7 years in a very busy city, a little over 20 years as a state trooper. I have paid my dues and earned the right to talk about police officers. So get that out of the way. Now, so that was the hold harmless agreement. Get that out of the way. Now, as far as police officers, I'll ask them, do you have a gun on today? Do you have your gun? Are you going to carry? How often do you leave the house without a gun? And they'll say, well, most of the time I don't have a gun. But if I have a gun, if I'm going over to whatever ball game with my kid or wherever, like I'll have a gun with me, but generally I don't carry. I'll quote John Farnham now. That's as stupid as saying if I'm on the highway, I'll wear my seatbelt, but around town, I don't wear my seatbelt. It's as stupid as that sounds. And so police officers consistently say, I don't carry a gun because I'm going to be a good witness. You have to live with the images and the screams of all of the people that you could have saved. You have to live with that. And so be a good witness. Have all your senses working that day, and you will have some vivid memories down the road, I'm sure, of folks you could have saved because you were just such a great witness. Or carry your gun consistently all the time, akin to how you put your seatbelt on when you get in the car. And if you tell me, well, I don't wear my seatbelt, okay, I understand why. If you don't carry a gun, you probably didn't wear your body armor either. And then you don't have the seatbelt on. The seatbelt is the tactical tool to keep you in the seat in the event that you get into a collision. So should you have a gun on? Yes. Should you have your seatbelt on? Yes. I guarantee you tell your kids to put their seatbelt on. So would you allow your kid to not wear their seatbelt around town, but if you get on the highway, hey, put your seatbelt on? No, you would tell them, put your seatbelt on the moment you get in the car. Put the seatbelt on. Have it on. And so that's what I would hope that police officers, especially if you are in states that have sensitive zones, what I mean by this is if you live in a free state, you don't know what I'm talking about. But some of these states have sensitive zones where citizens who are law abiding with whatever hoops they've had to jump through to carry a gun can't carry their gun because it has been deemed a sensitive zone or whatever other illogical name they title it. But police officers in these states are usually exempt from carrying their gun. So if you're a police officer, understand that there are people in your and you live in one of these states enforcing the law of sensitive zones, which are disarming people who are attempting to do the right thing by staying armed and not being subjected to the whims of evil people. But you get off duty and you hang your duty belt in the locker and you believe all the responsibilities of carrying that pistol go away when you hang your belt in the locker and you march out of the station in whatever crappy shoes you're wearing with gym shorts and a t-shirt on. But the citizens in that state would very much appreciate to be able to carry their gun. But why are they following the rules? Because they're good people, so they don't carry a gun. But you can. So you can carry a gun, and you choose not to. And you're exempt. In a lot of those spots, you could carry a gun because the law exempts you. And so I have zero sympathy for police officers that don't carry guns in those states. I have zero sympathy for any police officer that doesn't carry a gun. Period. However, especially those ones in those states that disarm law-abiding people. And you are one of these police officers that just is going to, or you're going to carry the smallest, tiniest little gun possible, and person is getting into the parking lot with a rifle shooting people, and you have a gun this big in your pocket, a Glock 43 or this, whatever gun, some tiny little gun. I understand it's better than nothing, but the person that would carry their gun, if they could, but they're following the rules of that state that you get paid to enforce, chose to not carry their gun because they're following the law, and then an active shooter or active killer type situation kicks off in whatever sensitive zone you all are in, and you're the police officer there, and you chose to not carry your gun because it was some sort of an inconvenience, shame on you. I look at the camera when I say it. Shame on you. Thoughts on, I need a sip after that one. This is water, by the way. So, thoughts on concealed carry insurance. Sure. I believe all of them offer different benefits and all of them have their negatives. So, what is your liberty worth? What is your freedom worth? What is the I'll say peace of mind worth? What is the peace of mind worth for you to have insurance? You have car insurance, house insurance, life insurance, umbrella policy. Hopefully you have all this stuff. And firearms concealed carry insurance is way less than any of those, even if you bought every policy out there. And so unless there's some policy that says if you have another policy with another company, our policy is null and void, you have to look at that and look at all of the benefits of each company that you're considering, and or just be a member of all of them that allow you to be a member of other insurance companies. Sim loads are not cheap. Yes, training is not cheap. I have no idea. Not my day to keep up with. I appreciate you asking about NSR Tactical. What happened to NSR Tactical? The website is down. Who knows what happened? I have an interesting story about this. So my website is 3roperations.com. And so I had the website and it was on an annual renewal. And I go to the website one day, can't get in. And I thought to myself, well, that's odd. And all of a sudden a pop-up comes up, you can buy this domain. And I'm like, I own the domain. What do you mean buy it? And so Upon further inspection, my credit card along the year, somehow my credit card number changes. I will change the number. I know. Probably more than I need to for fraud purposes. And so when the credit card number got changed, that auto pay didn't go through. Somebody bought the website. They tried selling it back to me. Do you think I bought it back? No. I said you can keep it. And so if somebody does that to you, if you have a website and somebody buys your website, it's not because they're a fan of your company or whatever. They saw that it was active, they bought it, they think they're going to sell it back, not to me. And so 12 months usually after you lose it, they'll buy it for a year. And so about 12 months later, check it again. And I did. So I believe I was about 3 months in or something like that, but some amount of time in. About a month, about 1 year after that, I checked it and it was available again for a penny or whatever it was. And so I bought it for 10 years after that. And if you go to that website, 3roperations.com, right now, it is in under construction status. Why? Because there's construction. So, right. So all of that to say, I don't know what's going on with NSR Tactical. The website is down. Maybe the credit card payment didn't go through. Who knows? I don't know. All right, so everybody should watch. So Lewis typed, I'm going to read it. So if you can't read the comments, I'm going to read Lewis's comment. He said, hey, I'm doing a special event collab live stream with, and he put the person's name, to discuss the differences and similarities of competition for tactical training, etc. So Lewis, tell them where they can see that in the date and time where they can go watch this. So, Pink Shirt Tactical, if you all don't know who he is one of us. So he is one of us. And if somebody says otherwise at the moment, listen, because anything is subject to change. But at the moment, I know that's funny, right? But at the moment, Pink Shirt Tactical, he is one. I don't know about that other dude on there. I don't know that other name. And I don't generally throw people's name out there if I don't know about them. It's like when somebody asks me, hey, can you give so-and-so a shout out? I don't know that person. And no, I don't know that person. So I'm not giving that person a shout out for you. Hell no. Because then years down the road, they end up being some whatever, and I never met that person. I don't know them. I'm not giving them a shout out. I will take a picture with you and you can send it to them, but I'm not giving shout outs. So I don't know that dude, so I'm not saying his name. But Pink Shirt Tactical, I definitely know, and you should go watch him. He is a phenomenally awesome shooter and gun handler. He's got he's got all the bases covered. And he's well spoken and he can teach. So you should go follow him. So let me get Lewis. I'm sure you typed in, but give me a minute. I'll get to your comment in a minute. Garrett says force on force is fantastic. Becomes an issue when too many of the scenarios are on the fringe of reality. Probable instead of possible. Right. Ultimately, chances are you're probably never going to be able to use any of this stuff. And that's not a bad thing, right? Chances are you're probably not going to use your seatbelt. Chances are you're probably not going to use that fire extinguisher that I have everywhere. Do I think I'm ever going to use them? Probably not. But yes, you should have it. Off-duty cop is still a cop. Yeah. So, yeah. Still the police. All right, Lewis says, unfortunately, scheduling-wise, we had to put it on next Wednesday night. Hope you will forgive me. Lewis, you don't need to be forgiven. You're good. Forgive you, I know. So, next Wednesday night, when? Meaning you don't want me to do the live stream here and we have to go over there and watch it? I'm good with that. I'll do the live stream. Maybe I'll do a Tuesday night live stream and a Thursday night next week. I'm not trying to take any of the listen because all the logical people are going to be here. I'm sure whoever that other person is you said, probably a whole bunch of people are going to be watching that don't know who we are, and they're going to be watching. So I'm not trying to take away from the viewer numbers by having a live stream. So if you're telling me that that live stream is tomorrow or next week at our time, I won't do the live stream so all of our people can go watch that. So all of our people, any people that are watching here that are not our people, any people that are watching that are haters, any people that are watching that want to go watch a great back and forth, Lewis typed up in there, he's going to be on a live stream next Wednesday. How are they going to find that, Lewis? Lewis, that going to be on, do you have a YouTube channel I can send them to? Hi, Rex. I looked over there. I thought I had a Surefire E2D right here. I may. Let me look. You know what? I do have one in there. It's too deep though. It's deep. It's in there. It's got fresh batteries in it too. I believe it's tan, I believe, but Evan, your coworkers were those police officers? What police officer? Oh, you mean those police officers that don't carry gun? I thought you meant something else. You mean those police officers that don't carry gun? Yeah, I get it. They probably can't shoot anyways. Detroit police officers are required to carry at all times, to my knowledge. Detroit has police officers? Garrett, yeah, Sean is a good dude. Did I describe him well enough? I believe I described him well enough. Evan was in a class with a DC Capitol police officer that told me there are too many handguns in America. That's hearsay. Yeah, Grant, take the block where I talked, cut that. Want me to say it again shorter right now? So cut that and send it to those police officers. Maybe edit the part in where I told them how long I've been a police officer for. Jeb, that's good. That's good to know. Don't say anything else. But that's good to know. Makes my soul happy. But don't say anything else. Liberty Seeker. Here we go. He's getting into the minutia of it. I know. Liberty Seeker says, we as patriots must stop using the law-abiding citizen slogan. Second Amendment doesn't apply to law-abiding, just another term used to disarm us. NSR website is up. Well, no, it says NSR is up. Didn't say the website, just says NSR is up. Stock? Yeah, Lewis, you're right. Sean, Garrett and Sean are cool dudes and definitely in a unique spot to talk to the other side. Isn't it unfortunate that there has to be another side? It's so unfortunate to me. It's so unfortunate. So disappointing. It's not surprising, definitely disappointing. When I say the other side, what I mean by the other side, here you go, you can cut this too and send it to them. The people that critique other people because their whatever score isn't up to whatever person's standard, but then they don't even carry a gun. Like, do you carry a gun? They'll put it in a case when they leave achieving whatever practice score they've got to, and then their gun goes away, and then they wear their shorts and flip-flops out of there, and they don't even carry the damn gun. So yeah. Having all the concealed carry insurance would be wild. Because it'd be like all the Spider-Mans pointing at each other. That meme where all the Spider-Mans are pointing at each other. The insurance would be pointing at that insurance. This insurance would be pointing at that insurance. Yeah, probably. It'd probably go like that. All right, Lewis's thing here. The spot where you're going to go watch his video next week, next Wednesday at 7 p.m. on L-Car Concepts YouTube. So, L-Car Concepts YouTube. You should already be subscribed to that. If you people aren't, go subscribe to that. 7 o'clock. Lewis, is that 7 o'clock meaning the same time as us? 7 o'clock Central? Because sometimes I say 8 p.m. Eastern. For all the Yankees that are watching, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. So, Lewis, that's your time now? I don't even want to say what state you're in case I'm not supposed to. But does that mean 7 p.m. Central? You get what I'm saying. Yeah, Brian, the shout outs get me because people will ask me, hey, can you, my buddy or whatever. And I just tread real lightly with the shout outs because then one day, who knows, some video down the road, that dude that I gave a shout out to who I do not know, I don't know. And even if I get to a point where I get paid for a shout out, I can't do it because what the vouching for that person down the road, so-and-so gave a shout out to so-and-so, and then so-and-so is some whatever person in the world, and then I'm there giving him a shout out. Never met the person. So yeah, I tread lightly with the shout out stuff. Radio Made Easy. Hello, free people. Radio Made Easy. I've sent about a half a dozen people your way the last week. Hopefully they gave you some money and supported you. So everybody's saying hello to Evan. That's right. Evan, do you remember the video I cut for you about a year ago? It was National Ham Radio Day, I think it was. Remember I did that video? That was on my 3R operations. Iridium Solutions. Good evening. Pow. Or yeah, fist bump, right? Is that a punch or a fist bump? I'm guessing it's a fist bump, but it could be a punch too. Garrett placed an order with Evan. That's cool. Ed, I have a pic. Remember when we did the live stream with Jaeger? I have a couple cool screenshots from that video. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Lewis. Lewis says, thanks, man. I'm guessing he said that to someone else, maybe me or somebody else. In case it was for me, I'll say you're welcome. Probably wasn't even for me. But yeah, I'm hoping it's a good convo. If we could get people to stop going in on other people, that would be ideal. There are tens of millions of folks in this country actively attempting to take your guns away. And we're going to bicker with somebody about competitions, or we're going to bicker with somebody about tactical training, or we're going to bicker with somebody about some widget on a gun or a holster, or it makes zero sense to me. Unfortunately, it's a whole bunch of those folks on that other side or whatever that always seem to share videos or go in on people that are, it does no good. It's a colossal waste of time, and it makes no sense to me. There are, once you've, and I've said this in a few posts, and I'll say, if you have spent the amount of time and energy going in on the people who are attempting to take your guns away, as you do on the people that also own guns, you're wrong. It should be a whole bunch of energy expelled on the people who are attempting and actively making efforts, concerted efforts on taking your guns away, and then a little bit of time on some instructor that you have an issue with. Okay. I would still say to that little bit of time that you spent could be much more valuable spent elsewhere against the people attempting to take your guns away. But these people that are editing videos of themselves for talking about other instructors, it's nearly nauseating to watch that stuff. Grant says just join their live stream. Oh, later on. If we get all of us there at once, so we can spread it out. We can spread it out. So I'm not opposed to it. But building bridges, as Lewis says, building bridges. Can't we all just get along? Pierre's on here. Pierre says, man, there hasn't been a bald cop on here for a while. Well, Pierre, there still isn't a bald cop on here because I'm retired now. It's so good. Now I can say whatever I want. The official cat ass, good evening from Newton, IA. Is that AI backwards? What would that be? And somebody's going to say Iowa. Guns are dangerous, got to keep them locked away, Pierre. Pierre says guns are dangerous, got to keep them locked away. Lock them up, Pierre. Trigger locks, leave them unloaded. Take the rounds out of the magazines, put the magazines someplace separate, keep the ammo someplace separate. Hell, store that in a can of water. Watch somebody cut that part of the video and put it out. It's so good. Yes. So dangerous. Thanks for getting here, Pierre. Pierre, I got a video of you spinning around on some stripper pole and your ass bouncing on the ground because you slid down it. Years ago at the SOE party. I saw that video the other day. It's hilarious. You made a pretty good effort at that stripper pole. And he had his clothes on, folks. He was fully clothed. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe that's why he couldn't pull it off. Pierre, did you see my new vehicle? Since Pierre likes vehicles, this is not a video. This is not a vehicle channel. This is a mindset, tactics, skill, and gear channel. But every now and then, if you want my opinion on what vehicle you should have to frolic around out in the world with, I'll tell you. But Pierre, I did get a new vehicle. It's got triple lockers. It's got a front lock, center lock, rear lock. Good for drivable, good for making previously undrivable terrain drivable terrain. Lewis, Liberty Seeker said he couldn't find a YouTube channel. Can you put a link in the comments so people can go subscribe to your channel? Lewis says 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 CST from the Republic of Texas. Texas. Yep. That's good. That's a good length driveway. Good thing you didn't live in New England with a driveway like that. You'd be paying a lot to get it plowed every year. Yeah, Evan. How about I host you for a class? Get some folks and we'll get some hosting going on. Get some hosting going on. All right, there's Lewis's YouTube channel. I'm not going to say anything super controversial at the moment or exciting. So right now, go to YouTube, go to his channel and subscribe to it and then come back. So I'll give everybody a minute to do that. I'll try not to say anything that you would find amusing or entertaining. Matt Harmon, I'm here now. Start over. What time is it? It's 9 o'clock. We're about to end this, Matt Harmon. I'm kidding. We're not ending at 9. We're going. Can you believe we've been in here an hour? An hour. I neatened up my beard and everything for this live stream. Lewis has a video on his YouTube channel called, with John Farnham. Yeah, called With John Farnham. You should go watch that. John Farnham is one of the godfathers in the industry. Evan, forgive me for saying this, but if somebody was going to take even a class with Evan or me or Lewis or whoever else is your favorite instructor, you need to go train with John Farnham. I would hope you would understand the why behind that. He's on what they would call the back nine, meaning he's old, meaning above probably 80, and he's still teaching. One of the godfathers in the industry. You should go and train with him. Go and train with John Farnham. And go and watch that video that Lewis has of him. Damn, Adam, why you got to throw him out there like that? Everybody's got to start somewhere with a new channel. What if a channel gets nuked? You got to start over. Yeah, so Brian says, not to be a fanboy, but as the lead singer of All That Remains, as good of a dude as I think, I see him in most of your training vids. Yeah, so the singer of All That Remains, that's his band. He is years ago, probably around 2017-ish, he was referred to me. So I was teaching classes with my company, 3R. Hold on, I need chapstick. So before I get off, I'm going to get off on this tangent. So, yeah. So yeah, the lead singer of All That Remains is Phil Labonte. He got referred to me years ago because he lived in New England. And I taught my 3R operation classes in Vermont. And this is back 2017, 18-ish. And so back then, you'd remember, Jaeger would sometimes share my schedule. I'll say this. Jaeger so generously and thoughtfully would share my schedule on his Instagram, and sometimes we'd talk about it on the YouTube, of my classes in New England. And so through somebody else, Phil Labonte, lead singer of All That Remains, came and trained with me one time and then said, I wish to train with you more, but I need you to come closer to where I live. And so he was a pretty good drive from where this range was in Vermont. So he assisted me in locating a range in New Hampshire that I used for a while, and then he came to a whole bunch of classes. Through that range, I ended up getting linked up with somebody who then introduced me to another range, and then so that's the range that I have my stuff at right now up in New Hampshire. And Phil has come out for a number of classes. He's Pro 2A. Yeah. So to answer your question, let me make sure I answer the question. Yes, he is as good of a dude as you think he is. You should definitely, if you're going to listen to music, you should probably listen to music that is put out by people who are pro-gun, who are pro not afraid to neuter what they say on the internet, who are pro not afraid to wear certain clothes with certain sayings on it. And he is also he's a co-host currently on the Tim Pool podcast. So if you wish to hear more of his opinions, he has a whole bunch of his opinions and his shooting videos on his YouTube channel. But then he's the co-host on the Tim Pool podcast. So, Brian, I hope that answered your question. Oh, and when I hosted Tactical Response Fighting Pistol in New Hampshire last year. He came up and attended that. So he is Tactical Response alumni. I have a bunch of video from that class. I just haven't had a chance to edit it and put it up. And so Phil Labonte of All That Remains is Tactical Response alumni. Pierre, thank you for the congratulations. Appreciate that. Dutch asks, Brian, did you ever work or attend a River Rats game? I don't generally, I didn't generally work events like that with the state police. So the New York State Police is a full service, as they would say, full service law enforcement agency. They were created to police the rural areas of the state of New York that didn't have police. And so a byproduct of the state police is highway work, right? But the state police in New York does police the rural areas that don't have police. And unlike some highway patrols, akin to Florida Highway Patrol, when I say highway patrol, that's akin to just driving around the roads, issuing tickets or handling wrecks or whatever. That would be like all the highway patrols that you know of. But the New York State Police handle a whole bunch of other things. They're a full service law enforcement agency. And so to answer your question, I've never worked a River Rats game, and you would not catch me attending a River Rats game for fun. And I don't watch sports. While it's okay, other people do, I just don't. Evan, what is a mold revolver? Mold revolver? I know you probably mean something else, but revolver has a lock on it. Rick Takahashi. 3. Yep. Rick, I got pictures of us in front of the old shop. Still haven't put them up. That's right, Pierre. My Lexus LX 700H Overtrail is pretty bougie. I had a black one, traded that in, got a green one, Nori Green Pearl. It has active height suspension, so it goes high 2, high 1, neutral or normal, and then L, which is all the way down. And so it's hydraulic, not air. It's hydraulic, goes up and down. It's triple locked. It is the Toyota Land Cruiser 300 series, just wrapped with all the Lexus accoutrement. It's got massaging seats too. It has a cool box too in the center console. So if you take your gun off when you get in the vehicle, you take it off and you put it in the console. If the cool box is on, when you get and put it back on, it's icy cold. You should not be taking your gun off in the car. Leave it on. What is it coming off for? Yes, yes, Evan. Let's get it hosted. We'll make it happen. Well, Grant, that's like firearms training too. People always want free stuff. They always want something for free. Evan, question for you. So I won't even ask on here because people on here be like, why are you even asking that here? But I'm on the live stream, so I can ask. Anyway, Evan, I have a question to ask about a training video. Remind me that I have a question for you regarding you and a training video. Maybe an opportunity for you. You may just say, tried it and it didn't work. This idea that I was going to run by you, but whatever. That's good that you used some John Farnham techniques on a shady dude at the gas station just the other day. Yeah. John Farnham. So I took this class with John Farnham. I've taken multiple classes with John Farnham to support him and be present to hear all the things he says. And he consistently says different things in classes, different ways. I have a video of him and I at dinner, and he's eating popcorn, and it's flying everywhere. And he's talking about traveling out of the country and certain places in the country. It's absolutely hilarious. It's so good it's such a good video. But in the class we did, it was a daytime class. It got dark. This class was in September-ish up in New Hampshire. It got dark. And when I say it got dark, it got dark. There were no lights at this range, and there were about 15 people standing under the roof of where we had all of our mags and ammo and stuff set up on tables. And Farnham was just still talking in the darkness. It was pitch black, low light, meaning a little low light, crickets, nighttime creatures making their sounds, and Farnham talking, and everybody standing there in the dark. It was so awesome. It was so good. And I believe class got over. He stopped talking at about 9:30. He talked in the dark for about an hour. And I believe at some point somebody asked, can we turn a light on? It was right near the end. And then somebody said, well, that would have been a good idea during the talk. Yeah, it was good. Josh Dewall asks, is Tactical Response still hosting Farnham? I don't see why not. Evan's channel was nuked just now. Last time I came down to assist Farnham, no one told me the class was canceled. Well, Josh, I hate to tell you, but you got to stay up on these things. Catch up. What do they say? Keep up. And I know you're going to say it was probably rude of somebody to not call and run it by you, but okay. But yeah, that's whenever I'm heading someplace, I tend to ask, is this thing still on? Are we still meeting up here? Are we still doing this? I tend to just throw that out there, especially if I'm driving 20 hours. I don't know how many hours you drove, but yeah. I'm behind on comments, Matt Harmon says. All right, I catch. I mean, listen, I have no place else to be. I have plenty of places to be, but we'll keep going until I catch up on the comments. We're good. Yay, Mrs. James cussing at students. That very entertaining. And listen, only certain people can cuss at students. Only certain people can. He could Jaeger. Yes, obviously he could get away with it. Some people can't get away with that. It is misinterpreted. My old revolver. Yeah, old revolver. Okay, that makes more sense. Evan's reminding me here to send the video idea. Yeah, we'll talk about it. So, yes. So next week, if we're not going to do the lot, if we're actually, Lewis, you still here? How long is that? How long is that video going to go next week, or you don't know? Is Is it only an hour or does it go longer? Yeah, I have an appreciation for classes that go. So he's saying that Andrew talks talks and his classes go 10 to 13 hours long. I have an appreciation for classes that go extra, right? And so I have an appreciation for that. Cops always want to know what time's class getting over. It's another thing cops always want to know. Dutch asks, have I trained at Ridgeline? Yeah, I've been up there. And Ridgeline, how's this? So up there at Ridgeline, it's way up in New Hampshire, way up in New Hampshire. And they have a very, I'll say, yeah, very thorough facility. And so I attended a Super Dave class at Ridgeline. Two to 3 hours, Lewis says. He's guessing. Okay. Be a pretty good live stream then. Yeah, I could, Ed. I could play to the audience and do the live stream earlier. And then Lewis, you could tell us when you're about to go live on there, and then I'll cut it and then we'll go over there. Or early, of course. So you can, so it's not like just jump off of this one and go on that one. So you can cut out early and then head over there and then we'll cut it. So everybody learned from Pierre's mistake of not training with Super Dave. There are still, and I appreciate you saying that, Pierre, there are still people that you can train with who are the godfathers in this industry. And you should train with them before you give your time, which is the most valuable thing you have, to anyone else. Go train with those folks. Yeah, Garrett says he hates when cops ask before class what time is lunch and we're getting done. Or are we getting done early? It's for me. It's disappointing. They disappoint me, and I tell them it. These days, I'll tell them even more. But so those when I would be around some instructors or some folks in training, and other instructors would know when somebody asked a question like that one, similar to that one, or something else, and I would look at somebody I was working with, and then they smile because they know I'm about to give it to them. They know I'm about to let them have it. Meaning, really, so you want to leave, you're trying to get out early today. You want to leave early. So disappointing. It's so disappointing. Pierre, remember I believe the last class you and I took was fast and accurate pistol, if you remember that. I believe that was the last one. If memory serves me correct. And if that was the last one you took, that was quite a while ago. So it's Wednesday. It's so good. Yeah, they may get to retire early if they don't take class seriously. You have to understand, so many police officers, their interest is not firearms. their interest is not rolling around on the ground in some jiu-jitsu class. Their interest is not taking Aikido. Their interest is not taking their health seriously. Their interest is not, that's not their interest. I don't know what there is. Maybe football, some sports ball thing is maybe their interest, which to me is backwards. And so they have the I don't believe it'll ever happen to me perspective. And then the day it does, can't believe it happened to them. Oh, that's good, Pierre, because that class that you and I took together was a long time ago. So that's awesome. You get that little one right into a class, bring them right with you. At least have them shoot a gun. So Pierre, your little one, we should arrange for that child to shoot, like Jaeger would say, some sort of a silenced 22, put their little finger on there, press that trigger. So eye and ear protection, of course. Their little finger on there, so they get bragging rights to say that they shot a gun at whatever age they were. So the earlier you get that done, the earlier their bragging rights are. Yeah, Pierre, I have the same number still. I have the same number. Yeah, videos are great to watch. Videos of officer involved shootings, especially the ones where you get all the different angles to see who saw what, are great. When you look at videos, there's a couple things you can do when you watch a video. Remove rooting for the good guy, whether it's a citizen or whether it's a police officer or whoever. Remove looking at it from a perspective of good guy versus bad guy. Look at it from a perspective of opposition versus opposition. And what did each do right and what did each do wrong? You have to remove the emotional connection to the cop or the good guy. I understand that we all want to see the police win and we all want to see the concealed carry, the CCW, as somebody in the comments said, win. I understand that. But removing the emotional attachment that you have to that. So that was my phone, not any of yours. And guess who it was? Pierre, confirming that I have the same number, apparently. Let's look at it, Pierre. You're interrupting me. I had my mojo going and you just interrupted it. Well, that picture was worth it. All right, good. I like it. Did you rip a round off right there at that where you're sending me that picture? That would have been interesting. That would have been a great story for the little one. So, yeah. So, what tangent was I off on? Somebody refresh my memory. So, yeah. The officer involved shooting. Yeah. So remove your perspective of you want to see the good guy win. What did the good guy do right? What did the good guy do wrong? And I know most people, I don't have to tell you, they're like, hey man, F the police, right? And so I understand sometimes your perspective on rooting for the police officer, but you have to remove that perspective and look at what they did right, what they did wrong, and go from there. Garrett Matson, yeah, like James talking about going out shooting pop cans with the grandkids. Pop cans, that he means soda cans for all you people that are like, what does he mean by pop cans? That means soda. And watching them explode. Garrett, have you ever shot a can of shaving cream? Try that next time. See if the range will be very happy with you. That's right, Brian. Evan got his son a 22 long rifle when he was 6, but did he shoot the thing yet? Yeah, Matt Harmon said he saw a video where the CCW did everything right and still died. As we know, there's only 2 possible outcomes to this. If you took fighting pistol, you know this. There are only two possible outcomes: a live hero or a dead hero. So, so a live hero. You had the mindset, tactics, skill, gear, and maybe some luck in there, and you did that. So live hero, mindset, tactics, skill, gear, and a little bit of luck sprinkled in there, and you got the deed done. Right? Fist bump, like Iridium Solutions did earlier. Great day. You got it done. Or a dead hero. You had the mindset, tactics, skill, gear, and it just wasn't your day. It just wasn't your day. We're all getting older. Okay? We are all closer to what we didn't get another day. We are every day closer to the expiration date, and none of us know when it is. And so if you end up a dead hero, you did the deed. And so you did what you had to do to save innocent people. And we can all think of people that we watch, relatives, friends, coworkers, associates died, passed on without ever making a difference, without ever leaving an impact. And that's okay. But going out, saving some folks, going out, making a difference, not just being a good witness, but doing something that saved some folks, and you didn't get to go home that day. I guess better than being 88, 89, 90 years old with dementia in a nursing home, withering away, right? Is pop, not soda. Yep. William S. had a cop get rather confused recently during a traffic stop that he had an IFAC strapped to the headrest of his car. Took some explaining. Maybe your conversation got that police officer thinking about having an appropriate amount of medical gear with him. I won't ask why you got pulled over, though. In Tennessee, it's all Coke. In Pennsylvania, I've heard them call it butter. Evan says not all police officers are bad. Well, of course not. Generally speaking, most police officers are not bad. Most are not bad. How do I earn the right to say that? I was a police officer for 27 years. City cop in a very busy city, Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Literally in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, there was a shooting last night. 2 cars got in a shootout. It's the most recent shooting. It's all the time in Pittsfield. And so Pittsfield was a very busy city. I was there from 99 to 2006, and 2006 became a trooper in New York, so a New York State trooper. So 27 years, I've earned the right to hold police officers accountable, and I've also earned the right to defend police officers when they've done the correct thing. And so I understand a lot of people probably want me to go in on police officers, and I do. And equal to that, if a police officer does the right thing, meaning their job, great. Just do your job. It's like when some of you folks, when you watch baseball, which I guess is a sports ball, baseball, and it's a pop fly to center field, and the outfielder runs and catches the ball, and they're like, "Wow, it's a phenomenal catch." He did his job. He gets paid a whole bunch of money to catch that ball, and he caught the ball. I don't understand the excitement behind that. That's why I don't watch sports. It's a totally different tangent, but wow, he caught the ball. Great. I guess does that mean that when police officers do everything they're supposed to do and shoot and hit who they're supposed to hit with 0 misses, everybody should celebrate like that outfielder, like they do for that outfielder who caught that pop fly, and everybody's celebrating? Maybe. It's a question. He put a bunch of rounds through that 22. That's good. Yes. There ain't no horse here. There ain't no horse here. The Regans. The Regans. What is that word? I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yes. It's good to see you here. I was talking all sorts about you earlier. You're going to want to go back and watch. Maybe you were watching and you're just finally commenting now. But I was talking about you earlier. Pink shirt tactical. Oh boy, Ed's putting his resume up. In 3rd grade of April 71. Here we go. We're going back, folks. Grandpa started him on a 22 single action revolver, then a 45 Gold Cup. And then some guy at the range let him take a 100-yard shot with his scoped black rifle. Was a good day. Yep. That's cool, Ed. When I was young, I had a 22 magazine fed. I wish I could tell you it was a Ruger 1022. It was not. It was a Marlin 22 long rifle, bolt action with a little tiny magazine, and it was on my desk in my room. Everything was there. It was right next to this remote control car that I had. It was a Tamiya Blackfoot. And it was all up there on display, the gun, the bullets, the mag. And so that was just, I could take that, put my eye protection on, my earplugs in, and go out and shoot whenever I wanted. And I had to have been, I was probably 12, if I had to estimate how old I was when I had just a 22 long rifle in there and access to all the other ones. Now understand, I grew up in a house where my dad was strict. Like, when I say strict, I mean corporal punishment strict. So, yeah. Aaron Dean, you are definitely a good police officer. Yes, you are. Garrett says, evening, Sean. See you doing great stuff. Sean, you are definitely doing great stuff. Seriously, like, go back. In all seriousness, I did say a whole bunch of kind things about you. Sean, how long are you on the road for? You said Sean just got out of class a little while ago. I'm guessing he was teaching a class, or he could have been taking one, but I'm guessing he was teaching. Figured he'd hop on for the drive home. How long is your drive? If it's reasonable, I'll keep it live for you, just for you. Lewis says he was talking about the live stream. Sean, I'll read any pertinent comments so you don't have to take your eyeballs off the roadway. I'm retired. That means I'm coming in even louder with less rules. Oh, yes. All right, 20 minutes left. Sean has 20 minutes left. What time is it? It's 9:33. We'll go 20. We're going to keep Sean company on his ride home. Edward Bentley says that person who didn't hit the bad guy out there, but his actions added a stressor the Idaho shooter wasn't expecting. Right. So some rounds from the we'll say the good guy started getting shot toward the bad guy, and the bad guy, if I remember, if I didn't specifically look into it, but I heard he offed himself. So yes. Sean, if you're on the road, yes. Well, William S. says keep it between the ditches. I say keep it between the mayo and the mustard, and you'll be good. Somebody asked me, I got a message from somebody, and they're like, "Why do you do this? Why do you do that?" So I do this movement, and so for me, the best way I can explain why I do that is from working out. I feel very tight, and so when I do that, it's a way that I feel it loosens up my muscles at the moment. So if I had to give you a reason why, whenever you see me do that, everything feels very tight from working out. So it's a way for me to loosen up, shake it out, if you will, right? If you ever, so years ago, I used to do the P90X videos back in the early 2000s. I'd do the P90X videos, and they had a thing on there, shake it out, shake it out. And so I guess when you see me do that, I'm very tight, and so I'm just shaking out the muscles. That's all that is. Sean and his superhuman casino drill. Yes, he does shoot phenomenally awesome. Cool. Yes. He says shake it off. Mm-hmm. Anybody got any questions? You can ask me a question. Get me off on a tangent. You can get me off on a tangent. Francisco V243. In the videos or did the workout? Imagine if I was in the P90X videos. I would do the videos. I still have the videos. And so the P90X videos were awesome. They came in a big booklet type thing. DVDs. They were DVDs. And so they were good. And I know somebody's going to have some reason for why they weren't. But back in the day, they were good. There were some good workouts in there. My first experience with James. Okay, great question. Watched a whole bunch of videos of Jaegers from when the first channel, he used to have videos that he would do in his garage, and he had a bunch of police patches up on the wall behind him. And so he would do gun cleaning videos and instructional type videos back in the day. Advice, all the videos that he did, even on the new channel. But back in the day, there were a whole bunch of very informational videos for students of his classes, so they could watch a video and know what to expect or know how to clean a gun or these types of things. And so I would watch these videos. And as time went on, he would say things that I would find that I aligned with. And so I would find myself watching Jaeger's videos more than anyone else's. I would try to watch all the videos, but I would rather rewatch one of Jaeger's videos than watch somebody else's first video for the first time. So if I could watch a new video that just came out or go and watch one of Jaeger's videos for the third time, I'd rather watch his video for the third time. I had just found that it was more informational, more useful, and generally, for me, better. And so when the Pack Your Bags video came out, at that moment, I knew I had to take a class with him and give him some money and show support. And I was getting the logistics of making that happen down. And then he did a bunch of news interviews. And it was as if every video Jaeger did, the previous one, I didn't think I could be more interested. And every video we did, I got more interested. When I didn't think I could. I was already at 100%. And then it was like leaving your phone just plugged in and just 100% all the time. That was my interest. 100% interest. And so I signed up for Fighting Pistol with James Jaeger. Was my first class in Camden. Showed up. He looked at me, and I had mailed a check in for a deposit. So I mailed a check to leave a deposit, and then I paid the other half when I got there. And as he walked past, he asked me what agency I worked for. And I told him, and he goes, and I said, how'd you know that? And he as in person getting to know him, he chuckled. He did that laugh and looked at me and said, I made you for a pig a mile away. Like, as soon as I walked in the door, I knew that was you. And so for some reason, with the guy that paid with the check and all that. And so he knew I was a cop just by looking at me. I mean, of course, a lot of people would think that's easy, right? So that was my first introduction. Within minutes, I was already being called a pig. Within minutes. And so from there, I aligned with the legacy that he had created. And so here we are. Joey Sankhouse says, my friend has a Glock 43 and it kicks like a mule. Any thoughts on the spring upgrades to reduce the recoil? No, Joey. Absolutely not. Keep that gun factory, original. Maybe if it's got the Glock plastic sights, you can upgrade those. However, changing springs, while I appreciate you leaving a comment, do you forget where you are? Don't take offense to that question. That's a good question. I'm not trying to offend you, Joey. All I'm saying is, come on, you know the answer to that. You know the answer to that. Factory spring upgrades to reduce the recoil. You know what? Spring upgrades. Yeah, they make a gripper with springs in it. Grab onto some of them. Tell that person grab onto some of them springs, and that's their spring upgrade. One of them Gripmaster things. P90X are the only DVDs I have left. Yeah, they were great. James's videos in the team room in front of the world map. Yeah, Jaeger would stand in front of the world map. He said it on video one time, which was pretty cool. But in the team room, there's a world map on the wall. And Jaeger would say, here's where I plan world domination. And he would point at the world map. Jaeger's the only reason he has a YouTube and Patreon for Matt Harmon. That's awesome. Lewis says, no, do not change the springs. The 43 is rough. Tell him to sell it and get a 43X or 48 or M&P Shield X or Shield or 365. Yes. Lewis, I told him to get the Gripmaster. You told him to get that. Between the grippy thing that I told him to get that's got the spring upgrades in it and getting a different gun, they should be good to go. Brian, I appreciate you watching, because if you weren't watching and I was sitting here with this behind me, I appreciate you being here. There's plenty of other crappy channels you could be watching right now. I appreciate you being here. Joey said thank you to Lewis. Joey, Sankhouse, where's my thank you? Yes. Oh boy, Matt Harmon, he went way off from springs. He's going to lifting weights now. That sounds tiring. The G43 is a tertiary gun. That's right. So Glock 43, I will say it's a reliable gun. I've had a few of them, and it's reliable, but as a tertiary gun, as a primary gun, no. There's an exception to that. There is an exception to that rule. I'll tell you in a moment. But as a tertiary gun, meaning you have a primary gun, a backup gun, and if somebody asks me my opinion on a backup gun, I'm going to say I get it that it's free. I get that. But you may have to arm another person with that backup gun. And so what level of reliability and capacity do you want in that gun? So, and then a Glock 43 is the tertiary, third gun. So third gun. The exception to that would be the Glock 43. Out of all of the shooting I've done, of all the guns, out of all the research I've done, do not use this exception to the rule to carry a 43 as a primary gun. Because the exception to the rule does not disprove the rule. And so it is only an exception. But a Glock 43, if for some reason you can't carry a full-size gun wherever you're going, apply that to whatever situation you're thinking about. The 43, out of all those guns that size, is reliable to carry. For the exception to the rule. Other than that, carry a fighting size gun. Something that's small enough to carry, but big enough to actually get into a gunfight with. Yes, you are Garrett says you're bringing a pistol to a rifle fight at rifle distances. Plan accordingly. Yes. Plan accordingly. If we remember the standard, I'm going to refresh your memory. Jaeger had a standard that you should be striving for. Index card, 25 yards. Headshots, 25 yards. You should be striving for that with your pistol. Your pistol should be your scalpel. People think that you're going to have time to go get the rifle out of the trunk or your truck gun, your truck rifle, right? And so this thing is going to happen and you're going to have moments to deal with it. Moments, a few moments. It's going to be the pistol. It's going to be your primary, whatever gun you have up on your body at the moment. And so you had better treat it like it's your scalpel. 25-yard headshot, index card. Yes. Joey, you're welcome. And you spelled my name wrong, though. It's with an I. It's in the title of the video. Attention to detail, Joey. But thank you, Joey. The old advice would have definitely been get stronger. You're right. Exactly. Strong people are hard to kill. Exactly. All right. Sean Martin is out of here. In the immortal words of Super Dave, that's all I got. Good night, everybody. Sean, thank you. And you have that video to do with Lewis next week. Edward Bentley says he saw a video last week where an instructor was firing live rounds in front of a student's head. Just wondering your thoughts on this practice. This is about the time in the live stream, an hour and 48 in, when it starts getting good. This is like when all the when all the interesting folks leave the party and it's just this core group of folks left. Then it could go in any direction. We don't even know where it could go. And so, to answer your question, Edward, I'd have to go take that class. I'd have to be subject to what the lessons are in that class to form an opinion. How's that for a short answer? Short but substantial answer. Backup guns and backup flashlights need to be just like the primary. If the day is that bad, don't want to add challenges. Let me act like I can read. Hold on. Let me reread this. Backup guns and backup flashlights need to be just like a primary. If the day is that bad, don't want to add challenges. That's not my reading. That is Garrett's terrible punctuation. Joey says, damn it, my bad. You're good, Joey. You can put a Y. It's fine. It's fine. Yes. So he says, sounds like a J video. The Nightmare. The Nightmare. A lot of people get that wrong. It is with 2 T's. Some folks get that wrong. They spell it not with 2 T's. That's the best part about that name is the 2 T's. Been a long day. That's okay, Garrett. Maybe you need one of them Gripmaster things. Get them fingers stronger so you can put in commas and periods and capitals. Heraclitus Select says, hey, Serge, you going to be in Camden over the next week or two? Notice no classes on the schedule till like the 19th. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, the next class, step off camera for a moment. The next class, yeah, is the, how's this for looking down? Yeah, August 22nd, right? August 22nd is the next class, Fighting Pistol. We got a number of folks in that class, so yeah. Fighting Pistol. And if you've had Fighting Pistol and you haven't had it with me, same curriculum, different delivery. And you probably can get it for half price if you've already attended it, right? So you should get in the class. Show up, take the class. And so different delivery. You know this. If you've taken Fighting Pistol and you have Lewis teaching it, you have Jay teaching it, you have Tim, Joey, Yeager, Heather, Kayla, me, it's a different delivery. Same curriculum, different delivery. And so at Tactical Response over the years, whether it was Jordan Winkler, whether it was, let me think who else would have back in the day, Dave Biggers, any of those instructors, I attempted to take the classes multiple times with multiple different instructors to get those different deliveries. So it was the same curriculum, different delivery, and I enjoyed all the different deliveries. So if you haven't had a class with me, you could and you've already taken Fighting Pistol, you get for half price. Come and hang out. You get my delivery. You get all of this in person. Joe, reach out to me and I'll tell you where I'll be. If people know where I'm at all the time, I'm going to have to start hiring like an EP detail to roll with. So Joe, if it's Joe, hit me up and I'll tell you where I'll be when I'll be there. Brian, yeah, That's cool. Had me for fighting pistol up in Palmyra. Palmyra. That's cool. All right, Justin, getting on late as hell. Crazy seeing that backdrop again. Isn't it awesome? It's so good. It's so good. Look at it. I can actually touch it. It's so good. Garrett might retire just to do the EP detail. Remember, Tim was the one who would specifically say this back in the day. Tim would say if he had enough money, he would hire enough other people to be around him with guns, trained, right? And so I always remember Tim saying that back in the day. I'm like, so does that mean you wouldn't carry a gun? He would leave me alone. Leave me alone. And I'm like, no, I'm just asking. I was like, are you gonna put your safety in the hands of this EP detail? That so yeah, but he would still carry a gun. We all know that. And so it would be how solid would it be to have a group of folks around you at all times who are also your friends, who are also trained, who have also been with you? But that's the problem these days. Everybody spreads out and goes so far away from one another. It would be cool if people got together a little bit more frequently who are on the same page. And yeah, we're a little bit closer logistically. Edward Bentley says, to my answer that I gave about the class, the person shooting next to the person, he said, that was an outstanding answer because even if I don't have the info to determine if that's what was happening. Right, there's a whole bunch of folks online that want to critique other instructors about things they see. And unless you go through it yourself and experience and experience it for yourself, how can you from a distance? I guess you all have the freedom to judge, right? And so, but we do see videos online where there's people shooting each other in the body armor. So people ask my opinion about that. Consenting adults, if you have consenting adults, they should be allowed to do what they're going to do. If they want to shoot each other in the body armor, if they want to be subject to whatever's happening on the ground, that is their freedom to do so. Freedom is a blessing and a curse, right? Some people use their freedom to do nothing in life. Some people have a chunk of floor that they could get down on and do push-ups, and they would rather go on their phone and look at my stories rather than go do some push-ups. Before you look at my Instagram, you should go do some push-ups. Anyway, so these classes, you should go take the class and then come up with your own perspective, your own opinion. Yeah, exactly, Garrett. When Tactical Response used to roll around any of those conventions back in the day, they were deep. It was just Jaeger was rolling deep. Mm-hmm. Top up my water. Yeah. Yes. Look at, I still have one of these Oakley HNBL-S's from last week. Anybody got any other questions before I wrap this up? So remember, I'm going to I'll put in my YouTube channel in the comments right now. So click on it, and then if anything ever happened to this channel, we'll go there. But I may do more live streams on that channel. So if you guys see, I just put in there 3R Operations. That's my YouTube channel. So I could do lives on there too, but that'll be the backup to this. So if this channel, anything ever happens to this channel for whatever reason, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. We don't have Tim on here taking out things he shouldn't take out on the live stream. So, but if it does, we'll go to that one, the 3R Operations. So, yeah. Kevin, yeah, those things were legit. I had several of those, and the last one I had was a custom mount. It was in a Toyota Sequoia. I have it on my Instagram. I'll share it if you look in the story. I'll share it. But it was a custom setup in the back and the bottom of the Sequoia underneath, and yeah, those were great. Those are great. On the Instagram, not the Instagram, on Instagram, I'm also on there, 3R Operations. So you can go on there. I'll announce on there usually when I'm going live on here, but that YouTube channel is important to follow. The other one I don't have a whole lot of recent stuff on there. I have a ton of videos on there, but follow that in case something ever happens to this one. We'll go there. Maybe we'll just go there for the fun of it at some point, but that'll be the backup. And Kevin, to answer your question, I don't have any of Tanos's racks anymore. That's what it was called, the Tanos steel gun rack. I sold all of them. People wanted them, and Tanos was working and busy, and there was a backlog of them, meaning there was just a long wait. And so I had talked to Tanos, and I sold all the racks. So, yep. Cool. So we've been here for 2 hours. If you all don't have any other questions, we can wrap this. I hope if you're watching this tomorrow, the next day, whenever, and you're on a drive, we kept you company for the drive. Garrett, you're welcome. And thanks for hanging out a couple weeks ago, Garrett. That was fun. It was fun to see you. Good time. Ed, you're welcome, and thank you. Appreciate that. So to recap, make sure next week, remember next week, we're going to either go early. We'll probably go early. Let's say this. Next week, if you're watching now, next week, we're going to go an hour early. Let me make sure I have nothing on before I start saying I'm going to do this. So next week, we'll go live at an hour earlier. Okay? We'll group up here, and then we'll cut it so you guys can go watch Lewis's live stream. So next week, an hour earlier. Watch the 3R Operations YouTube. I may go live on there and do some things. And it's been great. It's been a pretty uneventful night. So I'm going to cut it. Also, if you have questions, put them. If you watch this video, put them in the comments of the video. Actually, remember, everybody should be hitting the thumbs up button right now. But put the comments on the video, and I'll read them, and I'll comment back to you. If you comment in, like, once this, not in this comments, I'm saying on the comments, the video comments, once we cut this live. if you're watching this not live, or if you watched it live and you came up with a question, I'll answer those questions in the comment section. So that's cool. But all right. Appreciate everybody watching. And I'll see you next week an hour earlier. Yes, Aaron. Aaron said it. This is the way. Yeah, and Brian said, stay dangerous. And I will finish with this. Your responsibility to be ready for the fight never ends.